Hey everybody, good morning. It's Thursday, February 7th. I have an early morning video for you. It is 6:07 in the AM. I use 24-hour time anyway, so, you know, I would have said 18:07 if it was in the PM. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, he needs 2 tempo to develop that bishop, and then 1 tempo to castle. I also need the same 2 tempo to develop my dark squared bishop, and then spend 1 to castle. So I'm going to take advantage of this almost extra tempo and play my pawn to b6, intending to fianchetto my light squared bishop to b7. Okay, here we go, support the knight. Okay, I'm going to try to present pawns there on the king side. Okay, I have a knight hanging at f5. It's on pre because of his pawn at g4. Really don't have too many comfortable squares to go to. g7 and e7 look to be the best options. Alright, so we're going to come back here to e7. Alright, this is a concern. I think the king side pawns were more important there. Alright, so I'm going to play bishop to g6 because I can then play queen to f7 checkmate on the next move, unless he does something about it. Okay, what's nice about this is it discovers an attack on his knight at e4 because of my bishop at b7, but that same bishop is also skewering his rook at h1 through the knight. So his best option, honestly, is to play something like bishop to g2 or pawn to f3, but bishop to g2 is probably the best, though if he does that, I could play pawn to f5, pressuring that knight, and if he moves it, then I have a discovered attack on that bishop, which would be unsupported. I'm just going to pressure here. Now I can get a forced mate here. After playing rook to b2 check, he'd have to play king to a1. I could then play rook to b1 check. He'd play king to a2. And then I could take that rook at b4 and play that to b2 for checkmate. Alright, I really have no option here other than playing king to h4. Alright, I'm going to file up here, rook to e1. Alright, so his development of his queen there to f3, it's under tempo because it's not really progressing an attack, it's probably setting up for another attack. So I'm going to do the same by playing bishop to b7. Now I can free up my pawn on the c file. Oh, this one's interesting. Alright, I'm probably going to lose that rook at a1, but let's go ahead with this. Oh, shoot. I could have just taken that bishop with my other knight. Alright, that's a slight inaccuracy there. I'm kind of rushing my games here this morning. And it is early in the morning, so I'm a little unfocused. Alright, so we're good with those. I'm going to hop over to lichess.org. I have some interesting games going on here, like this Horde game. It's an interesting variant. In Horde, white starts with all those pawns, and black starts with a standard setup. Now, black's goal here is to take out those pawns, and of course, white's goal is to checkmate the king. But it's very difficult to do that with just pawns, so white's goal is almost always to promote. Now, the object here is for black to get to the back rank with a queen or a rook, because then they can sweep all those pawns out. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to develop pieces there. Mostly I'm going to play a little out of book. I mean, it's going to be atypical. I'm probably going to try to free up those rooks. I probably won't even castle. So I'm just going to play symmetrical here. I'm going to play a standard e4. Okay, here's another Horde game, so I'm just going to start to push the pawns carefully. Okay, queen game. Okay, now this is interesting. May not have been the best move. I may have wanted to have played my rook to pin his rook against his king, but I was concerned that he could run out that pawn. So I was trying to spend tempo to get my king into the game before he gets his king into the game, that is. Okay, let's try that. That's problematic. Alright, I'm going to castle ahead of white. Not too concerned about my knight at d5. My bishop at b7 is supporting it, as well as my queen. The only thing is if he brings his pawn into the game, like pawn to e4, I'm going to be obliged to move that knight. So simple as that. Now this game's really interesting. This is a Horde game that I think I played quite well. Alright, let's go to the analyze board here. So if I play queen to e5, he falls back here. That would be checkmate. Now if he comes here, could escape. Let's see, I could come here. Come down here. Alright, so the king could actually become quite powerful here. Now another option is to take this queen. If he captures back with a rook, you know, I could run out this pawn, promote, and give check. Now that's a pretty much one game. So I'm going to go ahead and take that queen out. Okay, he can castle queenside. I would let him do it before me. So I'm going to spend a tempo and try to fianchetto my bishop. Light squared bishop at c8. Okay, pawn to d6. Standard Sicilian defense, straight out of the book. I think I'm going to play the knight here. I'm going to present a strong knight structure. It's not a supportive knight structure. I usually play that, but I think this is a little more aggressive. This might be more effective. Now, of course, you know, I'm not concerned about pawn takes pawn. I could give check. If he interposes, I win that pawn back. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, let's try something like that. Oh yeah. I wonder why. Oh yeah, the rook has it. All right, that was a nice little fork he did. All right, so I'm gonna come back and take that bishop. Now I have to watch out for a pin from his other rook on my queen against my king. Probably should watch out for a checkmate too. Now I really don't want to play something like this because then he can move the rook and have a discovered check with his bishop at c6. However, something like king to h4 might get me in trouble. But I'm going to take that gamble. Let's get those on the same rank. This is mostly a lost game here. Let's try that. Okay. Let's check out chess.com. Alright, so if I give check here, he only has one square to go to. Then I could give check here, and he has to come there. Yeah, it's still, it's a tough little checkmating scheme because of his rook. Another option is I could give check here. If he comes there, I can give check here. And now, whatever square he comes to, I can win that rook. Alright, so that's going to be the plan here. Oh, I can't stop that pawn from promoting. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna get crazy in this one. Looks like he's got a force mate here. He's got mate on the next move. Rook takes rook. Oh well. Can't win them all, right? Oh, that might have been a mistake. I just left a pawn hanging. Arg. Arg! It's a little aggressive for me, but I'm gonna try it. I know that guy. Space Depot's a cool guy. He's an author, poet, quite intelligent. Took him about 100 games to beat me on, at chess, but I may have mentioned in a previous video I had about 7 years on him when we started playing. He improved quite quickly, a lot faster than I thought he would. Surprised I got Jeffries doing so well. He's a club player. I usually beat him at the club in live games, but his correspondence game seems to be pretty strong. I gotta full back. That's nonsense. Alright. Last but not least, let's check in the chess by post. Ooh, what was that? Oh, I see what he's doing. I can't take the queen. The pawn is pinned. Oh boy. This guy knows what he's doing. Here, let me show you what he's probably going to do. He might give check here. If I come here, he'll give check here. Come here, he'll come here. Let's check. Now here he has to be careful, because if he does that, that's a stalemate. So he'll probably give check here. I'll come here. Yeah, see, this is always tricky. Here, here, give check. Come here, step up here. I'd have to come here. He could come here. See, he'll probably do it better than this. I'm kind of running this out. He comes here. It's not stalemate yet. I have to come here, and then he's got check. What? That should be checkmate. Why is that only a check? Oh, he can come back here. Not doing this very well. Let's see here, and I can run out there. Okay, check. Checkmate. Yeah, he could probably do it in fewer moves, but I mean, clearly he's going to win. Let's see if I can do this in less moves here. Let's see, let's try to isolate a little better. Yeah, again, it's you get in this stalemate situation that's really tricky. Yeah, I'm not doing this very well, am I? Oh, here we go. There it is. There's the checkmate. That's a little faster. I could probably do it better. I'm just kind of rushing my analysis here. Sorry, guys. That's interesting. Okay, that's not an issue. I'm trying to pick up those pawns. I mean, I need to promote to have any advantage here. He's probably going to try to sweep up my dark squared pawns with that bishop. You know, playing like bishop to c1 and then taking out the b2 pawn. The other two pawns would fall afterwards. Take him a bit of a tempo to do so, but I think he can pull it off. Hmm. Let's try here. Take that. Oh, it's his pawn. Gonna try a crazy sacrifice in this game. What's my rating here? 1854. I dropped more games. Still made a draw. So not first. Okay. So I got that past pawn. Still gonna be tricky. I mean, if he does this, I come here. If he takes this, I also come here. Now, what's nice about this is if he comes here, then I have check, capture. Then I'd probably want to fall back here. He'd probably play that. This might not end well. You know, this one will go down to like something like this. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I didn't think that out as best as I could have. It keeps making mistakes. Oh no, that's right. As you can see, I had a nice skewer there. So, all right, pick that rook up. Hmm. All right. So for now,